What is up? What is up? What is up, awesome people of the internet? Everybody, happy Thursday. And guys, we just saw a absolute blowout of a game. Absolute blowout. We're gonna recap this game, okay? So the New York Liberty destroyed the Indiana Fever 102 for the New York Liberty and 66 for the Indiana Fever. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Absolutely not a good game at all. Yeah. We were sort of expecting this. I was expecting this to be a blowout, but not this bad of a blowout. I thought, okay, maybe they're gonna lose by 25 points, but no, this was an absolute blowout. Breanna Stewart did her thing today, dominated today. We're gonna get into specifically what Breanna Stewart and others did today. We're also going to talk about Caitlin's performance. Aliyah Boston and Jonquel Jones going at it for a little bit. And we're ultimately I'm gonna leave off sort of talking about my suggestions for this New York Liberty team, and also for this Indiana Fever team that really does need a lot of help. Really does need a lot of help. But yeah, we go. Let's get into this game. So this game started off, and initially I thought it was fine. At the end of the first quarter, we saw Indiana losing, not by a lot. You know, it's 16-25. And from the first minute of the game, we knew what time it was, because for the first minute of the game, we saw Stewie do her thing. She's the first player to score. Got a jump shot, and from there on out, I was like, okay, well, Stewie was like, yeah, the first game that I had the other day was not very good. And today she was like, yep, this is gonna be my day. This is going to be my day. And she started off with the bucket. It took Indiana quite a bit of time for them to get their first shot, but Caitlin Clark did get the first shot. That was the only real thing that she was actually able to do at the end of that first half. It really was that first shot that she had. She was able to get to the basket, and to me, that showed me that, yeah, Caitlin Clark, absolutely, she has that 3-point shot, but she is not going to solely rely on that as a detriment to her other game. She does have the ability to drive to the bucket, and I was happy that was her first shot. Her first shot was her first make was her driving to the basket, and it wasn't quite a layup, but it was pretty close to a layup. I thought that was pretty nice. And then the game really started from there. We saw the New York Liberty just sort of hitting bucket after bucket after bucket. Stewie got in there. We saw Sabrina Ionescu get in there for a 3-point shot. And it felt like initially the New York Liberty was going to run away with it. But then Katie Lou got a 3-point basket, giving Caitlin Clark her first assist of her at home for the Indiana Fever. And it felt like it was a somewhat of a back and forth, kind of, sort of. There was a moment in that first quarter, I think it was like close to 4 minutes was left in the first quarter, where Aliyah Boston and Jonquel Jones kind of got into it. They kind of got into it, and they got tangled up, and it looked like Aliyah Boston had hooked Jonquel Jones. And then the foul was called, play was over, but Jonquel Jones, like, they were still close to each other, and Aliyah Boston was basically like, get off me, get off me. After the foul was called, because Jonquel sort of lingered there a little bit, though Aliyah Boston did hook her, she did, and it felt like one of those moments where Aliyah Boston was like, yeah, I'm not gonna let you punk me. I'm not gonna let you punk me, and I'm gonna stand up for myself. And then Jonquel Jones was like, okay, little girl. That's kind of what it felt like. That was kind of what it felt like. I liked the fire that I saw at that moment for Aliyah Boston. But it didn't really translate to anything in the game. And that wasn't good. Like, overall, yes, Aliyah Boston did end up with a pretty decent scoreline, right? But overall, she wasn't very impactful for her team. We're gonna get more into some of the issues that Aliyah Boston, we're gonna get into some of the issues that Aliyah Boston was having, because overall, nobody really had a good night on this Indiana Fever team, but specifically Aliyah Boston didn't have that good of a night. But I did like the fire in that sort of interaction. I did kind of like the fire in that. But we sort of continued on with the first quarter, where kind of going back and forth a little bit, but ultimately Breanna Stewart was just hitting bucket after bucket after bucket after bucket. And they end the first quarter with the New York Liberty on top. And it was still pretty close. It was a still pretty close game. Again, guys, this was the score at the end of the first quarter. 25 New York Liberty, 16 Indiana Fever. Not that bad. Not that bad of a difference in score, especially when you consider the fact that, you know, this New York Liberty team is a very good team. They're a well-oiled machine full of vets who know how to play, know how to win. All right. Let's actually, before we get on to the second quarter, I do want to get to y'all super chats. Drizzy Des, thank you so much for the super chat, says another blank whooping for Caitlin Clark, and she scored 9 points. I thought she's going to drop 30 every game. Yeah, I mean, some people were saying that she was going to do that every game. I actually thought she was going to have a better offensive game. She did get good shots. I thought a lot of the three-point shots that she took were good shots. They were, well, good shots for Caitlin Clark, you know. They were Caitlin Clark level shots. She just missed them. But we're gonna talk more specifically about Caitlin in a sec, though. But thank you so much, Drizzy, for the super chat. But yeah, for the people who were expecting, you know, 30-plus points, I mean, you know, welcome to the WNBA. Welcome to the WNBA. That's all I can say. Repeat Tour, a.k.a. Michael, thank you so much for the super chat, says, drinking game, take a shot every time another idiot thinks Bluter is a better coach than Sides. Take a shot of water. Because otherwise I think you'll probably be messed up. But thanks for the super chat, though. Yeah, I see there's a lot of people in the chat right now who are saying that Bluter should take over. But Bluter was there. We're gonna talk about Lisa Bluter more in a sec. But yeah. All right, so that was the first quarter for the Indiana Fever versus the New York Liberty. New York was sort of doing their thing and making their stuff happen, and it didn't get much better to end out the first half, because again, we just saw the New York Liberty sort of do their thing, right? And there wasn't really anything that this Indiana team could do. There were little bits of stretches where they were sort of going back and forth, right? In terms of, you know, New York Liberty would score a basket, Indiana would score a basket. You know, and then, you know, there was a small period of time where I thought that Indiana was going to get some sort of life in them. Lexie Hull had a really good 3-point shot in the second quarter, and that was right after they had scored a layup before, and then they missed the shot. Or New York Liberty missed the shot. Erica Wheeler got the ball, pushed it down, got it to Lexie Hull. Lexie Hull hit a 3, and I was like, okay, well maybe they're cooking with some gas, but then no. It didn't last, because Breanna Stewart does what Breanna Stewart does. She scores, and she kept scoring from there on out. So overall, it was a little bit of back and forth, but ultimately, this New York Liberty team could not be stopped at all. They just couldn't. they were able to kind of score at will. Specifically, Brianna Stewart was able to score at will, and everybody else did their thing as well. Everybody else got some points in there. JJ got some points. JJ didn't score a ton of points in this game, but she was efficient when she needed to be. And that's all it takes sometimes. That's all it takes. Benijah Laney Hamilton, I thought she did a good job defensively, and also she did a good job scoring when she needed to. Again, she wasn't that efficient, but when she needed to score, she did score. But ultimately, the second quarter was really an opportunity for the New York Liberty to just lengthen the lead and make it pretty difficult for this Indiana team to actually go back. Like, it was, guys, it was pretty difficult. I was like, oh man, like it's no way. It's no way. New York is just going to destroy them from there on out. And that's basically what happened. We go to the third quarter, actually, where there actually was a little bit of condensing of the lead. We saw Indiana get going a little bit, which was good to see. The hard part about it is that it didn't last. This Indiana team, I would say the last 4 minutes of the third quarter, it felt like they started to have some life in them. They got a couple of stops defensively, and offensively, we saw, Caitlin kind of go to work a little bit. She, tried to do her thing, got fouled, made some free throws, and then it kind of felt like, okay, well, she's ready to go. Temi Fagbenle, she got a steal, and it was like the crowd went wild, and she was coming down to score a layup on that fast break after getting that steal. She misses the layup, which was not good. But when New York got the ball and went on the other side, they ended up missing their shot, and so it wasn't horrible. Caitlin Clark gets the ball, has a step back three-pointer, splash, and then the crowd was really, really, really into it. It was like, okay, well, maybe the Indiana Fever kind of got something, Then New York gets the ball back, does not score. Caitlin gets the ball again, gets fouled again, makes both of her free throws, and then we're looking like we're kind of cooking with gas a little bit. New York, gets the ball again. They turn the ball over. Grace Berger, ends up, getting getting fouled on a shot, makes both of her shots. And, again, New York Liberty misses again. A couple seconds left to go in the game. Caitlin Clark had the ball, and it felt like, to me, that Caitlin Clark was stalling. It was like 10 seconds or so like that. Caitlin Clark was stalling with the ball. It felt like she was gearing up to do one of her patented step back three-point shots, but instead she tried to pass it to NaLyssa Smith with like barely any seconds left to go. And once NaLyssa Smith really got the ball and gathered, the time expired for the second half, or for the first half, and then that was halftime, right? So finally, we end up with halftime, the score 67 New York Liberty, 56 Indiana, and it was like, okay, they got the lead down to 11, which was good. And then from there, that was basically it. from there, that was basically it. The Indiana Fever got completely destroyed in the fourth quarter, and man, that was the ball game right there. I don't have a graphic for that fourth quarter onslaught, but yeah. I mean, guys, this New York Liberty team, they're a good team. They're really, really good. And I actually had my concerns. I had my concerns about this New York Liberty team because they are older, and I wasn't sure about some of the moves that they were making in terms of not having the type of shooting that they had last year on the squad, you know, and I was worried about what they were going to do in terms of like the point guard situation. Would Courtney Vandersloot be enough to handle it for this squad? And they did just fine. They did absolutely just fine. We end up seeing a final score. Again, the final score was 102 New York Liberty, 66 Indiana. Definitely the player of the game was Breanna Stewart. Guys, Breanna Stewart, she won the MVP last season. Yes, in my opinion, the MVP should have gone to Alyssa Thomas. However, Breanna Stewart really did carry this New York Liberty team last year. She carried them on her back, won MVP. She really did do her thing. And then it was just up to everybody else to kind of help them win the championship. It didn't work out, but Breanna Stewart coming in this year, she's ready to go. Guys, if you all could hit that like button, that would be absolutely fantastic. It is so easy to hit that like button. It takes 2 seconds of your time. Hit that like button. It really helps people find the channel. Also, if you all can actually do me a favor and hit that subscribe, that would be absolutely fantastic. You're not seeing a ton of like, quarter by quarter commentary that I'm doing to try to make sure you all know specifically what happened during the game, and providing you all with a platform to sort of talk about it and whatnot. So like, if you all are appreciative of what we are doing here, what we are creating, please let me know by hitting that like button, okay? Also, please subscribe to the channel. We are on our road to 20,000 subscribers. So if you can do me a huge favor, that would be absolutely fantastic. So yeah, this fourth quarter really was the nail in the coffin. Yes, the game was already basically out of reach for the Indiana Fever to begin with. They were down 11 points. Technically, yes, teams can come back from being down 11 points, especially if they have 10 minutes. But the way that the New York Liberty was playing, and specifically how Stewie was playing, it was obvious that they were not going to win this game. However, I don't think anybody expected the onslaught of offensive efficiency from the New York Liberty in that fourth quarter, and the inability from the Indiana Fever to actually score. So we go into that fourth quarter, and guys, the New York Liberty scored 35 points in that fourth quarter. 35 points. And we go to the Indiana Fever. The Indiana Fever only scored 10 points in that fourth quarter. It was their worst quarter all game. It was just, it just wasn't good. It was a lot of stuff compounding. First, it was the starters sort of doing their thing for the New York Liberty. And then the bench players came in, and they didn't miss a beat at all. They did not miss a beat. They were still able to score like mad. And guys, I'm just like, man, it wasn't a good look for the Indiana Fever for their first game at home to be what it was. Yes, absolutely. A thing to note is, yes, this Indiana Fever team is not very good. They came into this season with one of the worst records last year, right? They got 2 back-to-back number 1 picks for a reason. And they have the toughest schedule to start the season. Toughest schedule. We're going to actually look at their schedule in just a sec, just so you all can see it for yourself, how tough this schedule really is. But for this fourth quarter, again, it was an onslaught. You saw, Jonquel score some buckets. Stewie continued to score some buckets. Sabrina got in on action, had a 3-point shot. And it just continued from there. You saw, even Courtney Vandersloot, got a little bit more in the scoring action in the fourth quarter. And then they bring in the bench players, and then they start scoring like crazy. Kayla Thornton is she had 9 points, I believe, in that fourth quarter alone. And that's just basically the ball game. You saw this squad in the New York Liberty, their starters and their bench go off for that team, and for the Indiana Fever, there was nothing they could do. Some of the sets that they were running, it looked like they were trying to do a lot of isolation type stuff, and the ball wasn't moving like that for the Indiana Fever. For the New York Liberty, it's like they were a well-oiled machine, because guys, remember, this New York Liberty team, they were sort of microwaved up last year to try to make a run for the championship, because you had both. Jonquel Jones was already there. Betnijah Laney was already there. But you had Courtney Vandersloot leave Chicago, go to New York. You had Stewie leave the Seattle Storm to go to New York to build a super team and to beat the Las Vegas Aces. They made it to the championship, couldn't get it done. But my point is, this team, their core is very used to each other. Their starting five is they're a well-oiled machine right now in terms of them knowing exactly how to make stuff happen. Whereas this Indiana Fever team is not that, right? They have a fantastic player who just got there. You have a post player who is really good in Aliyah Boston, also in NaLyssa Smith. You have your best, in my opinion, shooting guard in Kelsey Mitchell is still not 100% back from her I think it's like a foot or an ankle injury, and they're still trying to figure it out. They're trying to figure it out, so it's not going to look pretty. It's not. It's going to take these players time. It's going to take them time to gel, to figure out what exactly they need to do to make some stuff happen. This Indiana Fever team is a very, very raw team. Yes, they have good individual talent, but they don't totally know how to work together. They don't totally know how to work together, and that's a hard thing. Also, guys, sorry about that. Jonquel Jones was at Connecticut. My bad on that. Betnijah Laney was the player who was already there. My bad. But yeah, this Indiana Fever team, guys, Caitlin Clark was sent there for a reason. Temper your expectations, I would say. And speaking of expectations, this New York Liberty team actually might just end up back in the finals again. Their first game against the Washington Mystics, I thought was very, very like a way closer game than I was expecting it to be. But today, absolutely demolished the competition. And both of these teams have a rematch in Barclays Center on Saturday. We will see a rematch, and the question is, will we see a change in strategy for this Indiana Fever team? Will we see a change in strategy? I think there needs to be one. I 100% believe there needs to be a change in strategy. But the question is, will Kristy Sides make a change? Will she change up the starting lineup to get a to get a lineup in there that could do more on the offensive side. You know, that's a question. A couple more super chats. Thank you so much. DizFan9212 for the super chat says, is it just me, or does the talent between the rookies versus some players like Stewie and Sabrina tells the spread of the women's game, the difference? Yeah, I mean there is a big difference. There is a big difference in the talent level. Like, you could just tell. Like, again, this New York Liberty team is full of vets who have been in the game, been in the WNBA for a long time. These are players who have played overseas for years. They know how stuff works. They know how to really make stuff happen in a ball game. And this Indiana Fever team, while individually they are talented players, individually they're very talented players, but working together as a team, and also just knowing how to beat some of the best players in the world is stuff that they're still going to have to learn about. They're still this team is still learning. Caitlin, thank you so much for the super chat. Caitlin says 9 points, 25% from the field, and a plus-minus of -14 is the greatest thing I've seen in the last 2 years. Stewie gonna give Asia a run for MVP this year. Yeah, Stewie definitely is in the running for MVP. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you keep putting up performances like this. Again, 31 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists for Stewie. I mean, welcome to the W, man. Welcome to the W. And yes, it wasn't just Stewie. And for those who don't know, Stewie is Breanna Stewart. Her nickname is Stewie. It wasn't just her. I thought Betnijah Laney did a really good job today. I thought she did a very, very good job today. On defense, especially, I thought that she made Caitlin work really, really hard throughout the game. And even when Caitlin got some, in my opinion, really good looks from the 3-point line, she missed it because I think she was tired, she was gassed a little bit. It felt like that, at least. And Betnijah, defensively, she did her thing. Offensively, 30% from the field, so like not the best, but she scored it when she needed to. She scored when her team needed her to score. And guys, Betnijah Laney had a plus-minus of 43 today. When the last time you seen a plus-minus that high? A plus-minus of 43. Yeah. That's, I mean, she was doing her thing. She was Betnijah Laney, man. She really did do a good job today. She really did. And it made sense for them to put Betnijah on Caitlin, right? That made sense because the defense that this New York Liberty team has to offer is not that great. It's not. It's not that good of a defense in terms of the guards. So that's why you had to put Betnijah Laney on Caitlin Clark. And I thought it was a smart idea. Wore her out so much. Even the moments where Betnijah was not on Caitlin, I thought Caitlin was tired. And like, while she did get some good shots, she ended up having them be short, and Betnijah got under her skin and made her frustrated. That's what good defenders are supposed to do. They're supposed to make you work for everything you got. Also, guys, if you all can hit that like button, we got 1,000 people in the chat right now. We got 1,000 people in the chat, and we only have 299 likes. That's it. If you all can hit that like button, please support this channel. It doesn't take anything but a press of your button, to press of your mouse, or just tap the phone. Hit that like button, please. If we can get to 600 likes, that would be absolutely phenomenal. I think we could probably do it. Please hit that like button. That would be great. Okay, let's continue on talking. So Betnijah Laney, number 44 in this photo. She was really, really good. Dexter says Caitlyn was in a straitjacket. She really did make Caitlyn work. She made Caitlyn work. And you know, I think Caitlyn is going to ultimately be fine. You know, she's going to face top-notch defenders like Betnijah, right? Like Dejanay Carrington, right? It makes sense. She's new to the league, and it's gonna be fine. It is going to be fine. Okay. So I wouldn't put too much into it. All right. I saw a question somewhere. Ooh, I just lost it. I saw someone ask about what is a plus minus? Darn, I completely lost the comment. Oh, here we go. Blake says, can you explain the plus minus? Yes. So the plus minus, I think for the most part, is used just in basketball. Men's and women's uses the plus minus. The plus minus is all it is. So some people think it's about, you know, the amount of points you score, plus, you know, assists, plus steals or whatever. That's not what the plus minus is. The plus minus indicates how, like, when you were on the court, how many points did your team gain or lose? So for example, Betnijah Laney, her plus minus for today was 43. So that means when Betnijah Laney was on the court, the New York Liberty was up 43 points. All right. So it counts the points scored, the points that your team scored versus the points the other team scored while you were in the game. All right. So you come in the game and your team has 5 points. Your team has 5 points when you come in the game. When you come out of the game, your team is up by 5 points when you come in the game. You come out of the game, your team is down 5 points. Okay, your plus minus is -10 when you leave out the game. Because while you were in, the other team scored 10 points and you didn't score anything. Your team didn't score anything. So now your plus minus is -10. Hopefully that actually makes sense. It's the amount of points that your team gained or lost while you were on the floor. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. So plus or minus, Betnijah Laney killed it with 43. Brianna Stewart, she had a 26 plus or minus. For Caitlin Clark, hers was -24. Aliyah Boston, hers was -33. Katie Lou, hers was -28. Yeah, basically everybody. The best plus or minus for the New York Liberty, or for the Indiana Fever, was Grace Berger, who had a plus minus of -3. All right. But yeah. So hopefully that makes sense. That's plus minus, and yeah, that's why Betnijah Laney's plus minus is so high. That's why it's so high. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. If you all have other like random questions, feel free to ask it. I will try my best to see your question. There's a lot of folks in the chat. But if you have a question and you asked it and I don't answer it, just paste it again in the chat. That would be absolutely great. Yes, in map. Yep, it is. It is a point differential map stat. Yeah, that's exactly what this is. That is exactly what this is. Hufflepuff. I just answered it. It's a basically all it does is indicate how many points your team gained or lost while you were on the floor. All right, but yeah, it's a point differential stat. That's all it is. That's all it is. So it is not in relation to how many points you scored. It's not about how many rebounds you got. It is about what the whole team did in terms of points and what the other team did in terms of points while you were on the floor. All right. Okay. FM says smash that like button. Yes, if you all can hit that like button, that would be absolutely awesome. All right, so Kristen says not impressed by the Fever offense. Feels like they were trying to fit fit the square players into a round hole. So let's actually talk about the players for the Indiana Fever. And actually, before we do that, let's actually talk about this real quick. So today was a sellout. I believe that that this is the first time I can ever remember the Indiana Fever selling out. You know, it's been tough for the Indiana Fever to get a lot of fans in the building. This is way more fans than they had last year for their home opener. I think this was like 10,000 more fans than they had last year for their home opener. 17,274 fans came out to watch the home debut of the Indiana Fever. And specifically, we all know this, they came to watch Caitlin Clark. And guys, you know, while they came to watch Caitlin Clark do her thing, they did get an introduction to the other players in the league. And I think this is what makes it so special, right? This makes it so special. You have a lot of new fans coming in, whether or not they watched on TV or whether or not they were in the building. We all know why they came in, and I see nothing wrong with that. But today, if they didn't know the name Breanna Stewart, they know now, right? You know, if they didn't know the name Benijah Laney Hamilton, they know now. I think this is awesome, truly. But the key really is this Indiana Fever team wants to keep those fans. And part of the reason why people like Caitlin Clark is because she hits 3-point shots like crazy. She hits all the crazy shots, right? She hits like Steph Curry level shots. But also, she's a winner. And her Iowa team, especially in the last 2 years, were winners. They won almost all their games, right? And people like that. And the hard part is, will these fans stay when the Fever are 0-5 to start the season? You know, that's the thing. That is the absolute thing. I hope they stay. I really do. I do think that this Fever team needs to make some offensive changes. I'm going to talk about those in just a sec. But at first, I did want to call out the sellout and say, yes, this is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. But we want to make sure that fans aren't just coming out and then eventually getting discouraged by seeing how terrible this Indiana team is and just leaving, right? And not selling out games, not watching the games on TV. And so that's the hard part, because people love Caitlin Clark. And this is not against any other players. I am just, in this moment, I am specifically talking about Caitlin Clark. But they know her as a winner. They know her as a winner. Yes, you know, lost 2 years in a row in the championship, but they know her as a winner. And will these fans stay? Because, you know, go back 2 years ago, the Indiana Fever sucked and nobody was coming to games. Tickets to go to games were cheap, very, very cheap, because the team was not very good. will the fan base stay if this Indiana Fever team has a bad season? Will they stay if they have a bad start? I think that is the huge question. Huge question that has to be figured out. Yeah, that's a huge question that has to be figured out, and we'll see. But specifically talking about this game in particular, I thought that the offense looked really bad for this Indiana Fever team. And first, I do want to just pull up. I want to pull up the the starting lineup for the squad, because I am proposing some changes to the starting lineup. The starting lineup is not working, and it needs to change. All right. But before we get into that, I just want to shout out some more super chats. Thank y'all so much for those super chats. Let's see. Caitlin, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, will the Valkyrie automatically get the first pick next year? That is not set in stone. I think I made a throwaway comment before saying they were. We don't know yet. We don't know, because every time there's an expansion draft, the WNBA picks the rules every single time. So I believe the last time there was an expansion draft for the Atlanta Dream, I don't believe they automatically got the first pick. But it's up to the league decides that. The league decides how exactly they want to structure the expansion draft and whatnot. So we don't know. They're gonna probably figure that out pretty soon, I would assume. Rasheen, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, Caitlin may need to work on separation because everyone will have her on lock if she keeps playing like this. Like this is still college. Yeah. She does have to adjust. There is some stuff that there is some strategy stuff that needs to change for the Indiana Fever, which I'm gonna talk about. But yes, there absolutely is stuff that she can do to sort of get better in that aspect. Thank you so much, Ace Go Hard. Ace Go Hard says, Fever cut the lead when they played small ball and Caitlin got it going. They need to stop playing 90s New York Knicks half-court basketball. Well, yes. Yes and. All right, Strong Gamer says, as a longtime suffering Knicks fan from the Midwest, Fever basketball is very familiar, riding it out as a new WNBA and Fever fan. Sides is like Luke Walton 2.0. Not Luke Walton. I really like Luke Walton as a player. I was a fan of his when he played for the Lakers. Coach Luke Walton, different story. But player Luke Walton, I liked him. High Vibrations, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, me singing to the Caitlin Clark stands, can you stand the rain? And I hope they can. I really do hope they can. Mellow Broke says, why can't Aliyah run in transition with Caitlin Clark? She be running slow and missing too many layups. Yeah, she did. She missed quite a few shots. Even like putback shots. I think she missed like at least two times where she got the rebound and missed the putback. But yeah, there's stuff that for sure needs to be improved on that front, and I actually do have some recommendations on that. But thank you all so much for those super chats. Really do appreciate it. All right, so now let's talk about the starting lineup. Let's talk about this starting lineup. It's not working. All right. This starting lineup is not working. This has to change. And the only way it's going to change is when Kelsey Mitchell actually gets fully healthy and she's ready to go. Kelsey Mitchell needs to be in the starting lineup. She needs to be. Yes, I will say this. Kelsey did miss. She had probably at least 3 or 4 times today. She had a fantastic move to the basket, and she wound up missing the final shot. I don't think she's fully back yet. You know, she has a ankle thing, and you know, she's not good enough to start just yet. But I do think she needs to get put in the starting lineup. I don't think Erica Wheeler needs to be starting anymore. You know, the last game, today's game, it felt like they had Erica Wheeler as like the starting point guard, and you can't. No. Erica Wheeler is a combo type of player. If you have more of a traditional point guard in the lineup, Erica Wheeler should not be the starting point guard. Like when the only times I think that it makes sense to move Caitlin Clark to a shooting guard type of position is when Grace Berger is in the game. To me, if Grace Berger and Caitlin are in the game at the same time, yes, then sure, absolutely. I believe I talked about this before. Yes, put Caitlin as a shooting guard and watch that work. But Erica Wheeler is, you know, she's a combo guard. She can kind of do a little bit of everything, but being the starting point guard, it is not working. Can we just admit that, please, and move on? Please admit it, move on. Have a player like have Kelsey Mitchell back in the starting lineup. If Kelsey Mitchell is not healthy enough just yet to get back in the starting lineup, I am curious about this. Now, I don't know truly if this will work out in her being in the starting lineup, but I would love to see way more minutes for Grace Berger. I think when Grace Berger is in the game, I just think she makes good decisions. She's shown already that she can do a little bit of everything. She can get the mid-range shot. She knows how to pass the ball around. She knows how to get players involved. She doesn't do too much. And she's just a player who can take the ball down if Caitlin is hammered in terms of like the defense really getting after her. I really do want to see them try, and this is only if Kelsey Mitchell is not ready to be back in the starting lineup. That's only if. Okay. If Kelsey Mitchell is not ready to start Grace Berger. I just for one game. I really want to see it. I really do. I really want to see it just for one game. Maybe it's a failure, but I have seen a good amount from Grace Berger in preseason. These first 2 games that we saw so far. I think Grace Berger can do it. I do. I think her and Caitlin could be pretty interesting. I think that could be pretty interesting. You know, Grace is in her 2nd year in the WNBA. She has her legs under her, and that could be pretty interesting. Old Law, I completely disagree with you. I don't know if you've seen Kelsey Mitchell like truly play. Yes, today she was inefficient. Absolutely. Today she was inefficient. I also wonder if it's because she's still hampered with her ankle issue. You know, I wonder if that's what's going on. In terms of why she wasn't able to she was able to make the moves, but she wasn't able to get the finish. So if Kelsey Mitchell is 95% ready to go, put her in the starting lineup. If she's not, put Grace Berger in. I want to see it. But no, Kelsey Mitchell was not trash at all. Truly, truly, truly. I think you all need to take a look at the last couple of years in terms of stats because Kelsey Mitchell, yeah, rough start this year because she's experiencing some foot issues, but overall Kelsey Mitchell was really, really good. She's a great shooting guard. Last year she averaged 18.2 points a game. She was an all-star, right? The year before 18.4. The year before that 17.8. She can score. She can absolutely score, and she can score efficiently. Last year she shot 44% from the field. This year, yeah, she's still hurt, but once she gets raring to go, once she gets back to a fully healthy state, Kelsey Mitchell can ball. So for those who don't know, for those who do not know, Kelsey Mitchell is really, really good. You just haven't been introduced to her yet. And once she really gets healthy, she's for sure in that starting lineup because, yeah, she's been the end-all be-all for years for the Indiana Fever. Right now, she's just struggling a little bit on an injury. But once she gets fully healthy, she's good. All right. And guys, if you all can continue to hit that like button, y'all, that would be absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. Also, if you all can hit that subscribe button as well. My name is Quita. I run this channel called Quita Love Sports, and all I do is talk about women's basketball. That's what I do. I will go live after games to sort of talk about it, give analysis, all that good stuff. I hope you all will subscribe to the channel and also join me because we talking about women's basketball. I will be right here after the rematch of the New York Liberty versus the Indiana Fever on Saturday. I'm back for lots of games. So if you all love women's basketball, or if you're getting into it, if this is like your first WNBA game ever, and you're like, I have questions, I don't know what's going on, like, subscribe to the channel, rock out with me. We're gonna talk about some women's basketball. I'm gonna make sure y'all know what's going on in the world of women's basketball, about the WNBA, all that good stuff. Okay. All right. Let's continue on. So, again, I am recommending that change in the starting lineup. Either start Kelsey Mitchell if she's 100%, or at least 95%, or put Grace Berger in that starting lineup. Erica Wheeler can still play, absolutely, but I think she'd be better off the bench. I think she'd be a better player off the bench to sort of bring some energy to the squad. I would also make a decision to not have Aliyah Boston on pick and rolls with Caitlin Clark until Caitlin is able to like work out passing the ball to Aliyah after a double team, because there were a couple times where we see there's a screen and then it's a double team on Caitlin Clark. She has to be able to get the ball out for that pass. The reason why it feels like they're able to double team better when Aliyah Boston is screening for Caitlin is because Aliyah Boston's slow on that roll. She's slow on that roll. And so I think that instead of running pick and rolls with Aliyah Boston, it should be running pick and rolls with NaLyssa Smith, because NaLyssa is a bit more faster and can set that screen and roll quickly. So maybe her man doesn't have the opportunity to sort of double team in that way. So I would want to see that a little bit more. For those who are saying bench Aliyah Boston, no, we are not benching Aliyah Boston. Okay, no, that's not happening. Okay. Aliyah Boston is a very, very good player. She is having a rough start to the season. She is, but she's fine. But if I am Kristy Sides, I am taking Aliyah Boston off of pick and roll duty for Caitlin Clark, because she's a little bit too slow for what they need to do on those pick and rolls. You have someone like a NaLyssa Smith do those pick and rolls. I think that makes more sense. Either NaLyssa Smith or even you do a pick and roll action with Katie Lou Samuelson. And the reason why I say that is because if you're doing a pick and roll with Katie Lou, her man is a guard for the most part, and having a double team where it's like two guards trying to double team Caitlin Clark is going to be a lot easier for Caitlin to navigate, because it's less like it's different height. It's a different height distance, right? And the arm length isn't that large. So either Katie Lou can screen it and pop out for a 3-point shot, or she could set a screen. Caitlin Clark can roll off of it, do one of her slide back into the left for a 3-point shot, or she can look down low for either Aliyah Boston or NaLyssa Smith. So the starting lineup that the Fever have, I just want to make one change to it. Just one change. Either you are starting Kelsey Mitchell or you're starting Grace Berger. And you're running screens with NaLyssa and Caitlin. All right. No Aliyah Boston and Caitlin screens for right now. You're doing NaLyssa Smith screening for Caitlin, or you're doing Katie Lou Samuelson screening for Caitlin. I think that will pick up the pace for this team. All right. I think that'll pick up the pace, and that's what this team needs. They need to go faster. There are times where the ball is getting stuck and the ball it's slowing down. All right. It is slowing down. And that's not what you need. Bruce says, thoughts on benching Clark to start Berger? No. I think that's a bad idea. Okay. All right. Wow, we got a lot of super chats. All right, let me read these super chats. Thank y'all so much for doing these super chats. Like, that's crazy. I really do appreciate it. Let's see. Mellow Broke, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, why can't Aliyah Boston run in transition with Caitlin Clark? She'd be running slow and missing too many layups. Yeah. It was actually. Did I read this already? I may have read this already, but yeah, it's a problem, and that's why I think it would be important for them to use NaLyssa Smith a lot more in terms of transition opportunities, and specifically with the screening action. And yeah, she did miss quite a few layups, but I don't know. She seems to be off at the start of this year. Ultimately, I think she'll get it together and she'll be fine. But yeah, kind of an off year. She was pretty off in the preseason. And I was like, oh, she'll be fine when the regular season starts, but maybe she'll need a little bit more time. Des Vintage says, Mark, Clark Mania is sick right now. Yeah. I mean, they're not used to Caitlin Clark having such a low scoring for a game, and they're not used to her team getting blown out the way they were. So yeah, that's definitely a thing. Drizzy Des, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, I hope we don't see blowouts with their national TV schedule, because it's so many other great matchups that can take that spot. Well, Drizzy, the way I think about it is the reason why the Indiana Fever has the national schedule that they do have, in terms of basically almost all of their games are going to be on national television. And technically today was on national television too, because it's Prime. So it's national television, or national broadcast, I should say, not national television. National broadcast was today. But I don't have a problem with it. Even if we see more blowouts, the reason why the Indiana Fever has games on national television, like I can't even remember last year if they ever even had a game on ESPN last year. Or they did. No, they did, but I'm thinking the year before, before Aliyah Boston came to Indiana. Did they even have any games on national TV? Like, if so, it's very few. You know, national TV, they want ratings, right? Of course. So the reason why those Indiana games this year on national television is because of Caitlin Clark. So even if it gets a blowout, you know, they probably wouldn't switch out that slot, because again, the people are showing up. A lot of people are showing up for Caitlin. And yes, absolutely, Caitlin's not the only draw. I just made a video on my other channel about Angel Reese and how there absolutely is an Angel Reese effect happening. And there's other players that are big name draws as well, right? The Las Vegas Aces are like top dogs in this, right? But Caitlin, you have to admit that Caitlin Clark is a giant draw. So I don't think it would make sense for them to change it to another matchup, because, like her or not, she's a draw. so admitted, and you know, I don't know, kind of be fine with it. I'm not to the level of was it Debbie Antonelli was doing the call today? What y'all think about what Debbie Antonelli was saying? I think that's her name. I think that's her name. The one that was doing the play-by-play. What did y'all think about her comments? Because I saw some people upset about it on Twitter. Three Diglets. Wow. Thank you so much for that super chat. That is a huge super chat. Says, Fever got pieces, but it's sloppy. Katie Lou is a sniper. Facts. Berger is a solid 6-man. Facts. Aliyah and Smith need to crash them boards better. Facts. When Clark's shot starts falling, it's over for the league. Shout out to Lisa Bluter studying her future team. Everything is facts, but I don't know about the Lisa Bluter studying her future team. I like how you snuck that in though. I like it. But yeah, she was there. Guys. Yeah, might as well talk about it. Guys, Lisa Bluter and Jan Jensen was at the game today. They were at the game, and there's a lot of people talking about, again, this conversation about you know, Indiana getting rid of Kristy Sides and bringing in Lisa Bluter. That conversation has just reignited, because I can guarantee you tomorrow I'm gonna see a whole bunch of more videos and social posts and all this stuff about Bluter, you know, studying her new team, and she's going to Indiana and all this other stuff. She was sitting close to the Indiana bench, so like add that to your conspiracy. But yeah, Lisa Bluter and Jan Jensen was there, showing some unity for Team Iowa, supporting their former player and Caitlin Clark. I thought it was great that she showed up. I hope she goes to quite a few games. I personally think it's awesome when I see college coaches come out to games of their former players. Like I think that's really, really awesome. But this just sort of continues the rumor mill about her going to the Indiana Fever. Guys, I really don't see that happening. If that happens, I will admit wrong. Okay, I will admit that I am wrong. But I truly don't see anything that indicates that Lisa Bluter is going to Indiana. I don't think so. And guys, you know, if she, let her retire in peace. If she wants to retire, let her retire in peace. You know, she's had a great coaching career and whatnot. She's just there to support her team. I mean, support her former player. That's why she's there. It's not to get a lay of the land for her to you know, take over at Indiana. I don't think that's likely. Okay. I don't think that's like, she just supported her player. That's what she was doing now. Okay. So yes, Lisa Bluter was there. But for all those people who gonna tell you she's going to coach the Indiana Fever, truly, I do not see it. And if I'm wrong, I will eat my words, but I don't see anything that indicates that she is going to the Indiana Fever. I don't see anything. Okay. High Vibration says, did you see Clark wave off sides after that third foul? I didn't see it. But you know, she's probably frustrated. But I didn't see it though, so I can't totally talk about that. Wild says Caitlyn needs to run and gun. Boston needs to play a glacial pace. That's the. Oh well, yeah. Well, but that's why I'm saying you don't use Boston for those pick and rolls. You use NaLyssa Smith. That's what I'm saying. There needs to be a change in strategy about what you're gonna do. Absolutely, Aliyah Boston can still eat and do her thing, but when you're trying to play at pace, you're looking for NaLyssa Smith. You're looking to get her the ball so she can move it a lot faster, and score a lot faster than Aliyah Boston. Banji says I better see her tail at a Aces game too. She gonna be there. I can guarantee you Lisa Bluter gonna be there. She is going to be at a Las Vegas Aces game for sure. For sure. I mean, and it makes even more sense because she has two former players on that squad, right? Not just Kate Martin. You have Megan Gustafson on that squad too. So that's a thing. That is a thing. All right. Let's see. Anything else I want to talk about before we head on out? Anything else y'all want to say? Sorry, I'm getting a lot of chat stuff. Let's see. Shira says there's zero chance she's going to Indiana. I agree with that. I mean, well, technically it's probably like 1% chance, but it's not likely. It's not likely. It is not likely. Omega says Bluter was there to support her new team. I mean, if Omega, if that's what helps you sleep at night, you believe in that. If that is what helps you, okay, all right. If that's what helps you, fine. It's not happening, but if that's what helps you sleep at night, if that's what helps you sleep at night, all good, I guess. All right. But before I go, I actually do want to talk about the I want to talk about the remaining schedule for the Indiana Fever, because guys, they have the worst schedule in the WNBA. They have the worst starting schedule in the WNBA. They have the hardest teams that they're playing up against. And because of that, I want to level out your expectations. All right. I want to level out your expectations by showing you who they're playing and how tough it's going to be for them. Okay. So that's what we're about to do real quick. Let me just share my screen. And guys, I really do thank y'all for rocking with me. We have had a lot of people join this stream, which is like actually really blowing my mind. I can't believe we've had so many people watch. But I appreciate y'all for watching. I hope y'all join me again for some more streams in the future. I do these all the time. I have a show on Monday that I do called Women's Basketball Weekly, where I like inform y'all about all the other stuff that's happening in women's basketball. Not just sort of after game recaps, but I talk about a lot of stuff. So if y'all want to rock with me there, please do so. All right. So let's get into it. So the preseason happened, and Indiana went one of one for the preseason, but the season started on Tuesday, and then we saw the Indiana Fever lose to the Connecticut Sun, which is they were the third best team last season, one of the best defensive teams in the league. And they beat Indiana. Not too surprising on that one. Then Indiana just played the New York Liberty. Got killed. They play the New York Liberty one more time, and that's on Saturday. And this is actually going to be at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. This game is going to be on ABC. So, yeah. So yeah, rematch on that front, and then on Monday, rematch against Connecticut, and then on May the 22nd, you are going to Seattle. Okay. So this is a tough starting schedule. You have the Commissioner's Cup champs that you faced twice. You have the third best team in the league last year that you played twice. Then you played the Seattle Storm, which I believe is going to be in the finals this year. Though they did have a really bad first game, so you know we'll see what's going on with that. But the Seattle Storm is a really good team. They do play against the LA Sparks on the 24th. That is where I am anticipating the Fever to make their first win. I'm anticipating their first win happening that game, May the 24th. All right, that's when I see that happening. Okay, and then they play Vegas, which yeah they're gonna lose in that one. And they play the Sparks again, which they'll win in my opinion. So and then they play Seattle. So it is a tough schedule to start, but it does get easier. So if you are a Caitlin Clark specific fan, I will just say, you all be patient with this team. They're going to lose quite a few games to start, but they're gonna get better. They're gonna get better. They're ultimately going to be a better team than they were last year. I still believe they have a chance of making the playoffs. And I think it'll be fine. Okay. So yeah, if you're a new fan, please stick it out with this team. Stick it out with this team. And I think they'll get better at time. It's just that they had a horrible schedule. Like absolute horrible schedule. Liquid says, let's see how long they're going to support her. Yeah, I mean that's the thing that's is not good, right? If you are a Caitlin Clark fan, you need to be a Caitlin Clark fan regardless of if her team is winning or losing. Okay, that's my opinion at least. So stay with this team. Stick it out. They got a promotion right now where they saying get 20% off tickets. So get your tickets, guys. Get your tickets. All right, guys. I really do appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Any last minute things? Any last minute things? Y'all want to talk about any last minute things? Kim asks, what is defensive 3 seconds? So defensive 3 seconds is, so this is not actually, this is one of those, hold on, let me get off the screen. Defensive 3 seconds is actually not a college thing at all. I think it's like just a WNBA and NBA thing. I don't even know if men's college basketball does 3 seconds. Maybe they do. I don't think they do though. But 3 seconds means that you're standing in the paint for 3 seconds. As a defender, it is a violation. So basically, you cannot camp in the paint. You cannot camp in the paint defensively. All right. So it's between when players are shooting free throws, the lanes that they stand in. So it's in between that. If you stand in the paint for 3 seconds and you're not actually guarding someone, you're just standing there, you're gonna get a 3 second violation. You're gonna get a 3 second violation. You can be in the paint for 3 seconds defensively and be fine if you're guarding someone. But if you are not, if you're a defender, I mean, if the offensive player is like at the 3-point line or something like that, you can't just hang out in the paint because you're gonna get called for defensive 3 seconds. Hopefully that helps. And it's a you get a technical foul for that. Or Janera said, wait, so is it offensive? Is it offensive 3 seconds that's not called in college, that's called in the WNBA? I can't remember. There is one version of that that is not done in college, but it is in the WNBA, and I can't remember which one that is. But yeah. Yeah, maybe it's offensive player. I can't remember. I misspoke on that. Correction. It is in college, but I think I'm confusing that with another rule. Guys, it's like there's some random stuff that's called in the WNBA that's not called in college and whatnot, and vice versa. So sometimes it's hard to keep up specifically what's going on. Oh, so it is defensive 3 seconds. Okay. Yeah, you basically the point is you cannot camp in the paint on defensively if you're not guarding someone. Okay? You cannot camp in the paint. All right, and it is 3 seconds. If you do that, it is a violation. If you are on defense, then it is a technical foul. If you so yeah. In the paint, you cannot just camp. All right. Yeah, says no defensive 3 seconds. Yep. Okay, guys. I have to. Ola says Fever is gonna beat the Aces. Book it. Okay, we'll see. We will see. I think that'll be a fun game to watch. I really do. Think that's gonna be a fun game to watch. All right, guys. If you all can do me a favor, and I'm about to end the stream, but if you all can do me a favor on y'all way out, if you all can hit that like button, that would be fabulous. That would be absolutely fabulous if you get that like button. I really do thank y'all so much for joining me. Hit that like button. Also hit that subscribe button. We are on our road to 20,000 subscribers, y'all. 20,000 subscribers. We are trying to get the the goal is to get there before All-Star break. I don't know how likely that is to happen, but I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna try my best to put out high quality content, and I hope you all are interested in that. But if y'all are interested in helping me out, please hit that like and subscribe. Also, guys, update for you all. I know I talked about joining Playback as a way to sort of talk through the games as they're happening, and actually be able to show y'all like the actual video of the games as it's happening. I just talked to the Playback people today, and they said it's going to be a 3-week delay on when I'll actually be able to start doing that. So yeah, I'll be on Playback in roughly 3 weeks time to start streaming WNBA games live. So yeah, that should be really fun. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, in about 3 weeks time, we'll be on Playback live for games. I may actually just start doing that, before 3 weeks time on YouTube. So if y'all are actually interested in that, let me know, and I think we'll try to do that. But anyway, guys, I appreciate y'all. For those who are new here, we are called the Awesome People of the Internet. That is what we call ourselves. We are awesome people who love the game of women's basketball. We respect the game of women's basketball. And ultimately, yes, we may have our favorites and whatnot, but we ultimately come into our fandom with respect, with love, and just the goal is to really grow the game. This over here is Mr. President. That is my dog. He always makes cameos in the live streams and in the videos and whatnot. So that is Mr. President. This community is called the Awesome People of the Internet. So when you join this community, you are joining the Awesome People of the Internet. It is the acronyms are APOTI. And that's what that means. Okay, that is what that means. That is the Awesome People of the Internet. We love the game of women's basketball, and you know, we love the game. We are very respectful. Okay, Charlotte, absolutely. It doesn't matter if you just became a women's basketball fan tomorrow. It doesn't matter if you just became a women's basketball fan yesterday. Okay, it doesn't matter if you've been a fan for 14 years, 30 years, all that good stuff. You're welcome here. We are happy to have you. And regardless of where your biases lie or whatever, we hope that you all will be able to have fun here and really just have a fantastic have a fantastic time enjoying the game of women's basketball. So I hope that you all are enjoying this community and whatnot. If you're not, let me know why. Because truly, I really do want to make this the community to go to when it comes to talking about women's basketball, especially on social media. And so, hope y'all are rocking with me. If y'all are not rocking with me on Twitter, please do that. I do live stream all these on Twitter as well. I thank y'all so much. I will be at all of the Sky home games as well. So yeah, I hope y'all are excited for some more Sky coverage. The Sky do play this weekend as well, so I will be covering that game. Not live, not there, but I'll be covering it from here. All right, Mr. President. He don't want to turn around. Well, anyway, I am saying bye-bye. Phoenix, Miss President is saying bye-bye because he has to go to sleep. And guys, I will talk to you all maybe tomorrow, for sure on Saturday. Okay? Keep being awesome. Keep being awesome. Keep being some rock stars. Have a fantastic rest of your evening. Do something nice for someone today. Today the day is not over yet. Do something nice for someone. Have a fantastic Friday. I will talk to you all soon. Keep rocking with women's basketball. And until next time, guys. Bye.